I'm so excited to have Jennifer here today. And I met Jennifer. I think you were one of the first people that I met when we sat down for dinner the very first night. And
Yes.
you were sitting to my left. And we had the best time. And you have a job that is really kind of like aligns so well with jewelry makers or any kind of entrepreneur maker because she has an amazing business. We're going to learn all about it here in a minute. That actually puts on outdoor markets, which would be
Mhm.
something, and I'll tell you my story about them later. And so we want to hear all about you and your business and also how it pertains to what you've seen in the business as far as like what works really well for people.
Mhm.
We'll kind of talk about that a little bit more because setting up a booth in an outside area is a little bit tricky, and I bet you have some good tips and tricks. So, welcome to my show, Jennifer Perkel. We're so excited to have you, and let's get started. Welcome to my show. Julia
Thank
should
you
tie it
so
up
much.
with Sugar Gay is, but I should have said that part, but here we go.
That's all right. Thank you so much for having me, Sugar. I appreciate it. So guys and girls, my name is Jen. I'm the owner of Here LLC. I am a market organizer and farmers market manager. Um, Currently, I'm organizing and managing 3 farmers markets in my little county area and having fun with all of that entails. It's kind of crazy, it's kind of fun, and I really love doing it. It was a big change for me.
How did you get into this? Because it is something, it makes me kind of think, well, this would be kind of a fun job, but I know it's hard because you're
Oh,
dealing
it's
with so many people and so much money is on this table and blah, 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 outdoor weather and is it going to work and
yeah.
just renting the events. So, how did you get started in this?
So I was a music teacher for 32 years, and
Wow. I didn't know
yeah,
that about you.
thank you.
And what, like to
Music.
college level or high school or
Oh,
elementary?
no, elementary band and orchestra, elementary and middle school band and orchestra, and a little choir in there too. But mostly
Wow.
band and orchestra. My main instrument is a violin, and my degree is in music education.
Oh, this is such a great conversation because I know that other people, we enjoy our musical instruments. We have great memories of our choir teachers. I do. Like,
Oh,
oh my God, I could name them all starting back at like, well, I think I was 5 when I joined my little choir at church, and it really
oh,
meant the
nice.
world to me throughout all of high school. So,
Yeah, we have
you
fun.
know, that's a hard thing to teach is music.
It's only hard after the first year.
Oh,
So after you learn the basics, then it gets really, really difficult. Uh,
it's better when you don't know anything. Is that what you're saying?
yes, yes. A lot of things I think are better when you don't know anything.
Well, I'm sure it was really trying because being in the school district, I mean, I can't even imagine now. Like, I teach at a college level, and it's right now we're having problems just getting kids to come back after the pandemic. Nobody wants to do anything in class. Is like
Yeah.
the bane. Like everything has changed. We've even made it all free. It's like what else can we
Oh, wow.
childcare? Like what can we give you to come back and put your butt in the seat? Nothing. Nothing. We're not
Oh, I
interested.
know. Well,
It's really hard. So that
that's
must have been like a turning point for you when you said enough of this.
Mhm.
Tell me
Well,
about that.
after teaching just through COVID, I said, you know what? I've got to get out of the house on weekends. Things were just starting to open up where we could have outdoor shows as long as, you did your 6 feet apart, 12 feet apart, whatever it was. So the farmers markets finally opened here, and I would go to the markets, craft markets. Everybody was reinventing themselves during
Good.
COVID. So lots of crafters came out of the woodwork. Lots of artisans, people who said, hey, I can make money with this thing that I've been doing while I'm cooped up. Or the
Making
thing
bread.
that,
Like, there's a lot of bread. Remember the sourdough bread?
yes,
We
and,
all made
and
bread.
banana breads and yeah, crocheting little animals. We have a lot of that. Um, but I said, let me go out and take pictures of what everybody does and I'll post it online. And then I realized, hey, you know what? I have a lot of friends who own restaurants or farms, things like that. Maybe I could find places for everybody to sell their whatever they're making or doing. So that's how I started to become an organizer, by finding places for my friends to set up and
Yeah,
sell.
it's not so easy because you got to think about parking and do they have a restroom and is there enough space and like
Mm-hmm.
and then you got to like rent that space probably from somebody. Like not an
Yep.
easy thing to take on, but we need people like you to open up the world to us so that we have places to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know when I first started I started doing really large paintings and I was in Toronto and they would have these great weekend markets. You had to like be vetted to get in there. And then I
Mm-hmm.
would come down to this very windy, because it's by Lake Ontario, at the distillery, which is the most beautiful location because it's just all
Oh.
this red brick. It's an old brewery for, during the prohibition, this brewery got really big and it was sat on the
Mhm.
waterfront and was kind of like falling down. So they turned it into like a destination for people to go and have really good meals and be outside. And these giant pieces of board that I was carrying around were like sails and they
A
just like
giant
fly
sale.
away. I was like, oh no, what am I doing wrong? And I was looking at everybody else with their little things and I'm going, oh, it's the jewelry. So, I started off doing really large paintings and trying to haul them around, and then
Mhm.
realized, oh, it's the jewelry everybody wants. But it really was a great outdoor market, even though, I learned so much at the beginning of my career, just through that venture. And I met so many great people and so many great
Yep.
customers. And it really did open up the world to me. Like I got to do a chandelier for the head of H&M in his chalet in Switzerland because he came down and saw these amazing bracelets as I was making and
Mhm.
bought one. He's like, oh, what else can you do? I'm like, anything. I mean, you just
You
have
name
to
it.
be open. You never know what's going to work because you're dealing with
Mhm.
the real public. So many great things happen there to me. So many great things. I can't
Awesome.
tell you. I have just amazing memories. And of course, I've done it a million other times, but nothing was like that just because it was such a first time experience of, taking that on. And there's a lot
Mhm.
to it all, right? Like a lot of people work really hard to get ready for the weekend. So that's another
Yes.
part of, being a seller is there's a lot of prep involved. Just, what
Mhm.
do you see about that? Like what do you see? You must see people come in and they're not ready, and then you see some people that are like super ready. And
Mhm.
tell us about that.
Um, so I do see a lot of people who it's their first time vending. And I kind of pride myself. What sets my company apart from from other companies, I should say, from my almost competition, is that I help vendors and take them step by step. Here's what you need. You bring your 10 by 10 canopy, you bring your weights, you make sure you have a tablecloth that goes all the way to the ground. Your your table coverings, make sure you bring a chair. If you have one of those little Jackery external batteries, to charge your cell phone or whatever lighting you need, because there might not be proper lighting there to showcase your items. Make sure you bring all your displays. I always recommend bring a dolly or a wagon to cart your stuff, because I can't tell you how many, oh, I have to carry these bins by myself. Well, sweetheart, go to Home Depot and get yourself a wagon, because carrying bins back and forth over the grass, tripping on the curb, dumping your bins, like it's not fun. It's so a wagon is, I think, a huge thing to get started. Make sure you have enough product where your table looks well stocked without being overcrowded. So I've seen that before. I'm like, oh my gosh, what'd you bring? Where's your kitchen sink under the table? And sometimes there's, two or three things on the table, and people tend to pass those by.
Yeah,
So it's not
it doesn't look very like a lot of energy has gone into that table. So
right.
keep
And you,
walking.
and you also have to find your people. So like people who follow me on social media are wondering, where's the next market? Where is Jenn going to set up next? What venue is she going to be at? But
We're having
we're
a bit
not
of,
looking for sugar jewelry. So I always make sure you post on social media and tell your people what you have and
right.
where you're going to be.
I mean, social media is the key of all this. And I know that's another thing is that you
Mhm.
do really great on your social media. You do really great. And I try really hard to, when I see it, when it pops up to my feed or go and hit your button, to
Thank
comment
you.
because we do need to support each other. And that's kind of like one of my pet peeves is like, if you're on social media and you're getting likes, who are you liking? Because it should be every one of those people that are liking you because it's a community and we need to work
Yes.
together to keep it
Mhm.
vibrant, to keep it going, and to keep it relevant. Else, if it's just an echo chamber, what's the point? But you do a great
Yeah.
job. And I
Thank
know that this is hard. So wait. Oh, would you rather be teaching a classroom full of eighth graders, which I love being in eighth grade, but I'm not dissing eighth graders, or would you rather be outside on the weekend, corralling and managing all of these people because it is a lot of work. Like it's the same difference of eighth
you.
graders or cats. Like people on
Yes,
a
it is.
show cats. It's like all the same.
And when I would, I'll say, put together a big show, like the band plays and the orchestra and the choir, and there's an art show and the PTA is doing spaghetti dinner. When I can coordinate 600 and seven
Yes.
hundred people
Yes.
all together, that was very much easier task than herding 40 adult vendors.
Oh, and you forgot
But
you're there selling
um,
tickets because that's another whole part of what you probably had to do.
oh,
Which
it's
which is
yes, and to
nothing.
sell
Like
the tickets,
yes, and sell a ticket, like
mm,
and
it's
get your family there.
crazy.
Like
But it's, you know what? It's so much fun because I like being outside, even when it's like super hot. I'm out there with my hair all twisted up and my shorts on, putting up canopies, while
I got
people
coffee
love.
delivered. Sorry.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, well,
But
it's hot,
I
oppressive
love it.
heat here. Like it's a little bit different. Like yesterday, I literally just go sit outside, just be still. Like don't have to go do anything, just be still. Sweat pouring off my face. I could have timed it. It was like, okay, in 2 minutes, I'm like, because it was 105
Oh, wow.
the hot with 80% humidity. So you're just like, you can't even move. So we want to
We
move
don't.
up closer by you, where it's like nice on the weekends, because it
Yes.
sucks in Texas right now. There's like
Wow.
nothing that is so un uninspiring. We have this beautiful place. We're at the ranch, and we love to be outside working, whatever the work is, whatever it is.
Mhm.
We have a million things to do, and it's like death outside. Like if it's after 11 o'clock, you can't do anything. It's like, okay, now we're just inside now. That's
Oh,
okay. I have a day job, so I'm also doing that too. So I can't
nice.
see. But yeah. Now tell me, one of the things that I can kind of go back and forth over is whether
Mhm.
or not to have a tent. And I know you mentioned tents, and I know
Oh,
everybody likes to have a tent, but I don't like to have a tent. I'm a jewelry maker and I like that sun to come down. And I don't like the cave aspect of people having to come into my cave and come see my
yes.
wares, So tell me about that. I know some people are like, no, you have to have a tent. And it's like, well, if it's not going
Mhm.
to rain, can I just have an umbrella? Like, can I have something more inviting than can I just wear sunblock? Like, I don't want that. Well, it's a lot of work to keep a tent so it doesn't fly away. I've seen that a
It
million times
is.
too.
Yes. So there are some little tips and tricks for that. So I do ask at all of my shows. See, in New Jersey, we have this big difference between flea market and
Oh, right.
farmers market, or flea market and artisan market.
Right.
So I like to tell the story if you've ever seen the movie Caddyshack.
Yeah, yeah.
So Bill
About a
Murray.
million times.
Yeah, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase are standing in the room. Chevy Chase is making a cocktail. He's in a tuxedo, and Bill Murray comes in his messy groundskeeper outfit, and he says to Chevy Chase, "Hey, I think I need to clean up a little bit. Do you have a pool or a pond, or do you have a pool or anything around here I could clean up?" And Chevy Chase goes, "We have a pool and a pond. Pond might be better for you." Well, it's And I know it's not a very nice analogy, but um, the flea markets in New Jersey are usually associated with one giant flea market that we have called English Town. English Town is a dust bowl. It's all dirt with wooden plank tables, and you come up and you pay $6 for your table, and you plop your stuff on the table, and you leave when you sell out. Some people just leave their stuff on the table and leave. So that would be the flea market kind of association.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're an artisan, that's a whole other story.
Mm.
What distinguishes us, the artisan market, from the flea market is that we have the canopies to make it look like something is going on, not just a sheet on the ground, as a lot of our flea markets are.
Yeah.
So most of our flea markets and yard sales are, you put a flatbed sheet on the ground, you put your stuff on it, or on just a table with no covering. Um, Here in New Jersey, that's like a very, I don't want to say snooty thing, but yes, all of our people have to have canopies because it distinguishes the artisan markets.
Yeah. It
Well,
elevates it.
right, but there is a way that we get around. I know I can completely understand wanting the sun to shine on your gems because I've seen them and they're gorgeous. Oh my gosh. So we take the front of the canopy so here's the front, and there's a kind of
A lip kind of a
a
thing.
thing,
Curtain.
yeah, a thing that hangs down. We flip that lip up and we hang things from the canopy.
Using it
So
as a tool, as a place to
yes,
showcase something from up above.
exactly. So
Gotcha.
we see canopies from the top from the street. But once you come into the market, you can see the sun shining and everything glistens. Everybody who has, I have a lot of vendors who do sun catchers, wind chimes, things like that.
Yeah.
And they have outside of their tent one of those, it's shaped like an X, it's an X-shaped clothing rack.
Oh, okay.
And they hang their wind catchers and sun catchers on those clothing racks, um, which is beautiful. Some of them hang them in the middle, so their canopy can be kind of over to the side to allow people to walk through. But in the center of our little encampment, they put all their shiny things. So it kind of allows people to move through and still
Yes,
see
walk around and
flashes.
see them. Yes, we'll walk around and see them. I
Yeah.
get that. Like,
Mhm.
I remember I was driving through Kentucky. This is years ago, driving down from Canada to Austin to do some jewelry shows here. And I
Mhm.
drove by this really it was a Sunday morning early because I like to get up early.
Mhm.
And I'm driving by and it was a gigantic flea market. And I'm like, well, wait a second, I've got stuff in my car I could sell. So I walked around the flea market and I thought, okay, what do I have to do? And it was like $7. And I don't
Mhm.
know, maybe I had a sheet or a table, I can't remember, but I had enough product to put out there and make it all. These
Mhm.
hillbillies did not need my jewelry. Like they were literally hillbillies. And the guy next to me who was he was mentally challenged, but really he was selling dried poppy heads. And we had
Oh,
so much fun, the two of us, like this guy
oh,
and me. We were like laughing. We were having people like try on the jewelry and take their pictures. And then at the end, he's
mhm.
like, well, I could give you a tour of the town, but I only have a bicycle. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, no, that's totally fine.
No, good. Yeah.
We were like smitten. We were like bonded because we had had this
Oh,
great experience of just laughing all day with the customers and hustling and just hustling. It was just so much fun.
oh,
So great memories. That's the only time I've really done a flea market, and I didn't sell anything, and I don't think I did sell anything, but it was the joy of being with another. It's that community. That's the thing about it.
yes.
You've got to get out of you got to get out of your own way and get out there and meet people and
Mhm.
see things and meet the person next to you and meet the person next to you and see what they got going on. And yeah, I definitely understand that as a definitely part of the whole journey is that you got to be flexible and be outside sometimes. So I wish you would come down
Yeah.
here and put on some flea markets so I could be part of
I would
your
love
tribe. I'd be
to.
part of your tribe
I
for
would
sure.
love that. Yeah, we have a good time at the market.
I bet you do.
We always have something going on, and I've made some incredible friends from these casual acquaintances.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
That want to support you and help you and be part of you and also follow you so they know where to go get all
mhm.
these great little things that people are selling. What
Yeah.
what is a new product that you've seen hitting your markets that you could share with us? Because I know people are really venturing out and making really good livings on their side
Mhm.
hustles.
Um, so let's see, what is the best thing? It's probably a food item.
Yeah.
So New Jersey has this thing called cottage law. I think that they're in many other states too, but cottage law allows home bakers
Yeah.
to sell what they have, to sell whatever they make. So I have seen an incredible amount of candy coming
Oh,
out.
oh.
So it's not just, you go to the market and you buy your bread or your cookies or your rolls or cheese. Um, but these vendors that are coming up with incredible candies and cool things. Um, I've also seen a lot of hair products lately. So I have this friend, her name is Gail, and she is my heel and go, and she sells products for curly hair. Um,
Your hair looks great.
Thank you. I was going to say that's why you could actually see my curl
Yeah.
today. It's a little frizzier than I would like, um
It
but
has enough moisture in it to make those curls activate,
mhm.
your natural curls. Wow.
Yep.
Is it like a shampoo or a spray
No,
or a
she has some shampoos, and she has it's a lot of lotions and things. You take a little scoop, you put it in your hair and you squish it
yeah.
up. So I've seen a lot of skincare products and hair care products lately. Um, Innovative stuff, innovative packaging, non-aerosol cans.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
like there's
Or
incredible things like this aerosol can that you pump up the bottom. I guess maybe you could use it for olive oil or other things in the kitchen, but just innovative, cool packaging. Um, so food and skincare are the new trendy things
that people are
happening.
trying. That people are trying when they're
Mhm.
there, they're like, oh, I could use some curls. Like I would go for that. I would try that because
Yeah.
it does require some product. I don't know what that's about, but it does just require some. I was just frizz. Well, here in some human, it's like just frizz. But yeah, so that's definitely something. Do you have a lot of jewelry people? What's my competition? Who do I need to
Um,
kill if I move up there?
so I have only seen, let's say, there's one other fine jewelry person that I know. And she works a lot in Asbury Park. So she's actually, no, I know two of them, metalsmiths. So that's kind of a cool thing. So we have a whole bunch of different kinds of jewelry. I'm sure you're familiar
Yes,
with all of them.
yes,
We have the gemstone jewelry. We have wire wrapped jewelry.
yep.
We have beaded jewelry. Then there's a lot of people doing make your own jewelry.
Oh, like
So
kids? They're selling kids or
yes, like there's little bowls all over the table with different kind of beads, and you come up and you make your own.
oh wow, right there at the thing.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was a vendor who had kids' clothes, and she had make your own baby teething bracelet.
Oh
So
wow.
these like rubber balls that you can put on a plastic
Yeah.
circle, unbreakable thing, and hook it together, and you give this to your baby to teeth on. Um,
I would be
Yeah,
so scared of that. I'd be like, no liability insurance in the world would make me feel comfortable, but
like
I
I
get it.
do make sure my people have insurance when they come to the market. So every vendor has to be insured. Because my insurance basically covers me on
Right.
site and
Yes.
my getting $3 million insurance, you would think that that's like a ton of money, but all the stuff that can happen at a market, it's not
Yes.
really a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, it's a true, that's a whole other thing that you have to think about, isn't it?
Mhm.
So even if I was at an outdoor market with you, I still need to have my insurance involved. So that's kind of
Yep,
good to know. You must have a link to tell people how to get that because a lot of people
I
don't have
do.
that. Like,
That's what makes me, you know how there are teaching hospitals? Well, I'm a teaching marketer.
yeah, so you have so it's a process. So you have it all written
Mhm.
down, but people don't read what you write because that's natural. People don't do that. I did
Yep.
see somewhere where you wrote to your audience or your guests that were
Mhm.
coming, your vendors, like read this. Like I'm not gonna spend I
Yes.
can't remember what you said, but I was like, yeah, that's exactly right. Most people don't
Yes.
slow down and
Hmm.
read the fine print, or at least just the basic rules, like what time to get there and how to set up, and is there electricity, and all those things, because that's something they just want to have spoon fed or have organically know. And unless they
Yes.
plan it, they're not going to know that. So they got to read it. So
Yes.
that's kind of like your first thing to tell people, read what I write because it's important.
Yes. And I have a lot of friends who are attorneys, and you gotta read everything everybody sends you, and don't just like most people scan in the letter F. They scan across, down a tiny
Yes.
bit, down a
Yes.
tiny bit. But if I'm giving, and as a teacher, I like to give extra details,
Yeah.
like please make sure your weights are at least 40
Correct.
pounds and
Yeah.
things like that, for outside, because it does get quite windy at the beach or if we're in a park someplace. One big gust of wind, that tent goes up and over,
And it's
you know,
dangerous, and it's
heaven
gonna now
forbid.
ruin your product. It's like
Yeah.
my big canvases that were like floating. They were like
Oh.
sails. You have to go run down the brick
Mhm.
lanes to go catch them
And
because
go.
it's a gust of wind, and you're finding things in
Mhm.
different locations, like for sure.
Yes,
So
we've
yeah,
had.
people really don't stop and read, do they?
Right. No, not at all. I even have an FAQ on my website. So everything I do is pretty much done through the website, where people ask me, hi, how do I get into this market? And I say, well, let me send you a link and you go on and you apply. In fact, for just such occasions, I have made my applications now $5 to fill out an application. Like one vendor, it was 43 emails back and forth before we even got to filling out an application. And I pretty much just said, please visit the website. Like, I just can't. But
that
everything's,
that harkens back to why you left school.
yes, yes.
Because there's a lot of idiots out there.
Hmm.
Like just
So I
read what I
just,
wrote. Like
yes, go to
don't
the
explain.
website. There are every single detail, including the market agreement, where it says, bring your canopy, bring your weights, bring your blah, blah, blah. Make sure that you show up on time, make sure that you advertise, no sharing tables, like no smoking, no vaping. So there are a lot of rules at the markets that I need to comply with. So, having those all written down, and before people apply for the market, they say they have to check a little box, or in their application, I have read and agreed to abide by the market agreement. So before they can even pay for the market online, they have to say, I read the market agreement.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times I've had to go back and refer to the market agreement. Like, you're breaking, not just breaking my balls, you're breaking the rules.
Right. That everybody else is trying to attain. So it's very important. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
looking for my phone because I thought, oh, I need to get a picture of you to
Oh.
But you can, will you just send me a picture so I can make sure I add it to this? Because I thought, oh, but you look so
Yeah.
good. I was like, oh,
Oh, thank
oh,
you.
oh, we should have that, and we should have that in
Thanks.
there of you talking. So we'll add that. If you can take a screenshot afterwards, we'll get that.
Sure,
So
sure, sure.
let's talk for a few minutes about the Blox, because that's where I met you. I never would have met you.
Yes.
Like that was the thing that well, you talk about it because I don't, this is your show, but what do you tell me about the Blox? What do you, because we need to be talking about it still because it hasn't gone live on
Mhm.
Amazon. We still are really connected to a lot of the people. Have you heard from like, give me your rundown on how you're
Um,
feeling on it.
so it was really scary to me when I am in my comfort zone. Like here, I'm in my kitchen, I'm talking about my business, and I feel so comfortable speaking to you and telling you, things about my business. Um, I wasn't there to win a prize. Um, I was there to, first of all, because as a oh, sorry, I'm going to backtrack for a second.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's good.
as a cancer survivor, I was just like, when am I going to get a chance in my lifetime to be on TV? Do it. Just do it. And I couldn't afford it, so I did like a GoFundMe for part of it.
Oh,
So
smart.
and it was really nice. I raised $2,000. I didn't realize it was going to cost that much money, but it was what it was. Um, I was excited to get there and meet people who were just starting out like me. In July, it'll be my third year in business. It will be my third year scaling up my business. So first I started managing someone else's market. And then my first year, I had my own market. My second year, I had two markets. Now this is my third year in business and I have three markets.
So how do
So,
you do that on the weekend where you got to be in three different places? Do you have some
oh,
people to help you?
no, it's just me. I actually have one market is on Wednesdays from 1 to 6, one is on Fridays, and one is on Sundays.
Perfect. So it
So,
gives you 3 days out
yeah.
of the week where you have to
And
be
I
in one place. Gotcha.
Yes. And I also have my cottage license, so I'm baking a couple days to make food to sell at the market.
What
So I'm
kind of
kind
things
of
are you
double.
selling? What are you selling? I want
I
some.
made candy sushi. So I've been doing like candy stuff. I baked cookies. I make Rice Krispie treats covered in chocolate and sprinkles. So
Everybody likes those. Like those are just like bake sale gotta haves. Gotta have that
yes.
couple bucks, or what are they selling for? $5 now a piece.
Oh no, I just
Really
do
good
three
ones.
bucks. Chocolate covered Oreos, three for $4. I'm good like that.
Oh, those are great. I haven't had those in forever.
Thanks.
So do people still have cash when they're out there, or do you see that most of your transactions go through an app like a Cash App or Venmo or whatever? Do people bring
Um,
money?
well, not so much cash. A lot of people are PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle.
Right,
Now, Zelle is really cool because they don't take any, there's no fee for Zelle.
right. It just is
PayPal
on
is,
your Chase
yeah.
app. I think it's Chase or somebody. I got it.
Yeah, wait, so on whatever your bank app is,
Yeah,
Zelle and PayPal take almost 4%.
right.
So yeah, but so
Do
sorry.
you have QR codes that are there to take you to
Um,
Venmo or wherever?
yes, a lot of times, many of the vendors have QR codes and stuff like that. I ask people, how would you like to pay? And you just always have your phone or your device ready.
Yeah, it's
I've been
crazy, isn't it?
fortunate. Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have places to vend. My markets are always in a place with a flush toilet and always in a place with Wi-Fi access.
Oh, very important. A
So
flush
super
toilet. Yeah.
spoiled.
Yeah. And really, you need one of my QR code rings. Just tell me, just send it to me and I'll make you
Yes.
one. I made one for Joanne for her glampkin, and I
Oh,
made one
that's
for
right.
another friend of mine who has a booth with me, has a booth in the same, it's an indoor painted tree location in San
Oh,
Antonio.
nice.
And I made a ring for her, but I definitely just send me your QR code and
Okay.
I'll make
Thank
one for you
you.
because I would love to if you want that. Like if that's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
it doesn't have to have the like sparkles around it. It could be just real
Mhm.
plain, so it's very scannable. Like I always
I
test
love
it
it.
before I send it out so that I know that it's scannable on something. So it could be
Awesome.
Instagram, it could be your whatever, or just your pay app. Like and that could be kind of a cool right here. Pay me.
Yeah.
Bam. Pay me.
Pay
Or
me.
one on each fist. Like here, scan this one. Here, scan this one.
Oh,
Here.
that's so
You just
funny.
like make it a thing. Like why not? Because it's made just for you. So that's kind of fun. Have you met very many people or have you since the blocks? Because
Mhm.
let's go back to that because that it was where we met and it was such a
Mhm.
monumental week for us
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
did you come prepared? Like what did you do to prepare yourself for the
Um,
blocks?
I was I was just open to whatever they were going to teach me, but not I think the first couple days were so beyond what my brain was capable of grasping. Like I'm exhausted. That was the first time I was exhausted. It was the first time I had been away from home, probably in 6 years. Like I don't get to go on vacations. I don't do that. I would love to, but yeah, that was my first time away from home in like 6 years. So I was not prepared to like, oh my gosh, do I have this? Do I have my stuff with me? Do I have everything? And then I had to take notes. When was the last time you take notes on stuff? I was not mentally prepared. I have to tell you that first night after I
We met.
yes, yeah. That first night when I was on stage, like that I got picked as a Bloxer.
I
Um,
remember that. I remember that. I was so happy for you. I was
uh,
so proud of you. It was such a
thank
big deal. It
you.
was a big
Oh,
deal. I was so
it
proud of you.
it was huge. And like my phone was dead and I wanted to call my son, but uh, I got off after I got off the stage, I just kind of like broke down and I was thinking, I got up there and I am totally not prepared to. Hi, my name is Jennifer and I'm the owner of blah, blah, blah. No, but I didn't think anybody cared. I
Oh,
am a farmer's market
oh,
manager. There's a girl and
oh.
other guys running $1 million companies
Yeah.
like the
Why
Dick
were they there?
Doctors
We're
and
not
like
sure.
Amanda, all kinds of people doing important
Yes,
things.
yes, yes.
So when I got off stage, I just broke down. I couldn't stop
Oh,
crying. I was like, nobody
oh,
cares what
oh,
I do. And how do you
oh.
make somebody care what you do? So I was like an emotional mess. It
Well,
was
here's the thing, you
really hard.
never have to cry alone because that's what I tell everybody that I met there is as entrepreneurs, we're alone a lot of the time. And that's
Yes.
really hard to be crying on your own. You can reach out to me anytime, and I'm
Oh,
so
thank
honest
you.
about that. Like 100%. You just say, "Oh my God, look at sugar. Look, tell me what I should do. Like, talk me through this." Because I get it. It was so overwhelming. I was so nervous the
Mhm.
first time I had to just speak within my pod, my voice was like
Yes.
cracking like I was gonna cry. I'm like, what's that about? Like, I don't have any problem speaking to people, but it was
Hmm.
such a buildup, I think. It was so much pressure. It was a lot to take
Yes.
in, and it was hard. It was very hard. So
Like
I
we
get
got
that.
back we got to when I got to the round table, I just said to Rob, I said, I hope I didn't disappoint you when I got on stage. And he's like, what? And they made me feel better, but
Yes.
I was a wreck. And then I was
Aw.
embarrassed because I was a wreck.
Aw.
It was very emotional. It was very
I
overwhelming.
understand you. I totally understand you, and I feel for you. And I
It
know what
was
that was, but I know it got better with time, right? Because all of it
absolutely,
became it was just the emotion of okay, now we're in a casino and like where do we go? And the place was like really big and like there's
yeah.
so much to it all. And are you dressed right? And are you like there's a
Yes.
lot of variables that went into it. It was a lot of
Mhm.
thinking it through. And then you get up there and you're kind of like, well, I got up there and you saw me, I made it to the table, I made it to
And you
the
were
the
great. You
thing.
were well
And,
spoken and
and I had to stop because I thought, okay, well, I just flubbed that answer. So I'm just going to talk to the audience. And, I did apologize to the twins after that, Carla and I should know them.
Mary.
Smiley girls, because they were my judge. And I said, I'm sorry I failed you because that was,
Oh, oh,
that was a hard moment to process. And
mhm.
so yeah, but I had everybody dancing in the back in the green room, and they all came out dancing, and so that was kind of fun. Like,
Oh,
you just kind
cool.
of like turn it around and just make it a thing.
Hmm.
It's like, oh well, it is what it is. And I'm sorry you're still crying
Yeah,
thinking of,
no, I'm just like, because that
um,
resonates with me.
yes.
And I just was like, you know, I'm alone here. I
Right.
live in the house by myself. I run my business by myself.
Yes.
Um, like my son, I've been divorced for like 12 years. And my son lives in Philadelphia, so I go and visit him whenever I can. And I had a market Saturday, and he drove an hour and a half just to hang
Oh,
with me for a little bit
oh,
at the
oh,
market, which was so
oh,
cute.
so nice. How old is
So
he?
he's 24. He just turned 24.
Okay, so he's now grown up and like
Yeah,
helping
he has a
mama.
job and he's living on his own for
Yeah.
like 7 years
You
now.
did good. You did good. You got
Thank
him out
you.
of the house. Like that was a good thing.
Oh
And
yeah, when
Philadelphia is fabulous. So
yeah,
that.
he went to
And,
college. He's a mechanical engineer.
oh,
He's like a very important kid and a very important man. He's my kid, but
yes, yes,
he's a functional adult in society.
yes. And you did
Um,
that. So check that off your list. Great mom. Check.
thank
Always be
you.
proud of that
Thank
because it's a thing. Like,
you. And
we didn't kill them. They
yeah,
grew up.
and he's
It's a
not out
fine
there
line.
causing trouble. Yeah. Yes, true.
So
But
what were your takeaways from the blocks? Because we all
um,
we all brought something back from the
mhm.
blocks, whether it was
mine
friends or something.
Mine was to be a little bit more proud of who I am.
Huh.
And I went in thinking nobody cares what I have to say. And then coming out thinking, you know what? My stuff is just as
Yes.
important as
Yes.
everybody else's. You know,
Yes.
you might have a very fancy job in a medical office or something, but I'm providing an amazing service to the community and giving people access to food who may have food insecurities. And like, what I came away with is be proud of what you do and don't be afraid to tell people what you do, because honestly, if they're gonna love it, they're gonna love it. If they don't care, then they don't care. But I kind of don't have to worry about disappointing anybody else because I'm doing my own thing. And if I think it's important, like it's
Yeah.
then that's good enough. I mean, aside from the learning about pay-per-click advertising, so that's been a huge thing. I do one pay-per-click ad in 2 weeks. I got 18,000 views.
No
What?
way. Okay, you're gonna teach me about that because I'm trying to
Yes.
learn. Are you doing it through Google or
Google through Google.
through paid?
Um,
So did you get that whole bonus where it was like if you spend $500, you get $500? Did you know about
oh,
that?
yes, I saw that. I'm not quite at $500. I still like to eat this week. So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh
not
wow,
quite
was
at
it
that
hard to
500.
do? I'm lining my ducks up because that's next on my thing. My
Mhm.
ducks aren't all in a row. I got to get that thing happening, on the back end so I can push it to
Mhm.
something. And I think it's just going to be my Shopify. I've had a lot of meetings with a lot of people since then. And even one of our other Bloxers, Jennifer Lopez and I, we just met
Oh,
last week to kind of like talk through things. We're doing a little barter where I did some jewelry to pay for her time, some bridal jewelry for
cool.
some friends of hers that are getting married. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be, money, but, we are friends. So that was a good thing for me just to have that voice of reason. You know, she has
Mm-hmm.
a really good voice of reason. And
Oh,
Ashley
nice.
has kind of been very good. It's been a good thing for me, so that's good. But yeah, and I reached out and I made a necklace for Tyler Young for he's in a movie, and
Oh,
he's just been
cool.
sending me behind the scenes shots of that, and actually the necklace, which turned out to be like a prop in the movie where he's like killing somebody with it and other things happen to this
No
necklace.
way.
So yeah, that is going to be fun. So it's going to be
Oh,
the necklace that like took over a movie thing. So that was kind of fun.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I did the smiley girls. I sent them some smiley earrings, and then the gelato ice cream lady, the gelato queen, I sent
Oh,
her
Gelato
husband.
Queen.
Yeah, you remember
That's
Dr. Karen?
Rex
I
and
sent her.
Karen, right?
Yeah, I sent
Mhm.
Rex and Karen some him. He's a letter 8 person, and some ice cream jewelry for him. So
Oh,
it's been an ongoing, and that's just a few. Like I've got lots of people that I've met with because, like I said, I'm here to meet them. Like that was my friends that I paid to meet and to be
nice.
part of, and you, just to have. So we really are now connected at a different level because we
Mhm.
went through this thing together called the Blox that
Yes.
we will hopefully get to see. I don't know, July or through September. We don't know when it's going to show,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's a big
excited
deal.
about that.
Oh, and I have another one that it was somebody that was in um 8 who won actually or was runner up in season 8, and he was also on another season. And then
Oh,
he's going back to be on I don't know why people go back twice, but anyway, he's gonna hopefully be on the All Stars. He has a tourist thing up on Niagara Falls on the US side, and he's really grown his
ooh,
business. So he contacted me, and I'm gonna do a line of jewelry that relates to that kind of area. It's gonna be really cool. I'm excited about that.
oh
It'll be in his gift shop that he's opening. So that'll be
my
fun. All
gosh,
right. So,
you
there
made
are
fantastic.
connections that are, that were made there. And
Hmm.
that's just a small sample of who all I've been able to connect with, but a lot. So
Wow.
yeah, so if I can
Yeah.
make some jewelry for you to throw down next to your bakery, you say, I'm just saying, like, always
Nice.
be open. You never know. I could send you some earrings that have little cupcakes on them or something, just something,
Oh,
or the
cool.
QR code ring, whatever I can do to help
Yeah,
support
the
your
QR
business,
would
I
be
would. Because
awesome.
if I was up there, I would be with you. I would be like, okay, where's the next market? Like, I don't
Oh,
even like markets, but I
100%.
would go because I would have fun with you.
Yes, oh my gosh, we'd have a good
Yeah.
time.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And it is about getting out there and meeting people.
Mm.
It's the number one thing. It's so important. I read something where we actually live longer. If 3 times a month, you'll be a happier person if you get out and do something. So
Yeah.
out of your house, get out of your comfort zone. So you're doing that 3 times a week. And
Yeah.
I need to do that more. So I get that. Like that's kind of a push for me to get out and go meet other people and be whatever part of the community.
Hmm.
But it does help. Helps for sales, it helps for your head, it helps for everything else.
Hmm.
So now you're doing 3 markets. Can you see you getting up to 4, or is it just too much?
Um, yes. I can next year I can take one more market. Um, and see, another thing that separates me from my competitors is I stay during the whole market. So it's if you have any problems at all, or some creepy guy walks next to your table and
Yeah,
or anything, I come over
yeah,
and say, "Hey, how's it going over here?" Or I'm the one who stays at the market. I think next year I can definitely do a Saturday market. So I've been trying to put a little emphasis on being a vendor myself um this
oh
this coming summer, but I think I would rather just be market manager and take on another market
yeah,
because I get lost sometimes in talking to customers and
yeah,
so happy to meet new people. And being a market manager, there are more people who come up and ask questions about the market.
yes.
Either how do I become a vendor, or do you have this, or what vendors are scheduled, or how can I find out information, or, you know, I have a cousin who does this. Do you think they would like it, the market? And
Oh, they just want to talk to you. It's amazing how many people will just like tell you their life story if they get a chance. Do you
Yes.
find that? Because I've had 3 stores and I know those customers when they would walk in, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, we're not going to get anything done because this person's going to. Seriously, it was like a
That's the
daily
truth.
addiction that some people had, like
Hmm.
therapy was to come into the store and just talk to me, talk to me, talk to me.
That's
It's
so
like, I'm
funny that you
so
say
busy.
that. I think at the markets, I think for vendors and for customers, we should have a social worker on site
I
and
do,
just
don't
call it
you know?
the talk table. That's kind of what I turn into sometimes. Like
Yes,
if the market is a little
yes.
slower or somebody's table's a little slower, they come over and, everybody talks to each other about other markets. They talk about what's going on in their life. They talk about, oh, you know what? Let's put hot sauce on this product and let's try it. Let's do this or all kinds of
I
things.
mean, it is the public. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing. The general public is there. And so you gotta like be
Yes.
ready for anything. Anything. Like seriously. That's why you have
Mm-hmm.
insurance because those people are there. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
My
it is so
the
much
market
fun, but it's so there.
it is. The market manager's tent has been everything from this is where we process EBT to the come and sit and nurse your baby tent.
Oh,
You could
nice.
change a diaper here tent. You could,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Actually, that's a
somebody,
really important thing to have. A place to sit down, just a
mhm,
chairs in the shade with maybe a fan or something because grandma
yeah,
gets tired or here, park your buggy here so you can like have the kids run around for a little bit. Like I kind
mhm.
of see how that could be really an important tent. First aid,
Yes. And
charge your
that's
cell phone.
exactly, I always have extra water. I always have Band-Aids. I always have like scissors. I'm have that person with the sewing kit at the farmer's market, just
Oh,
in case. I always have duct tape and bungees,
you got your
plastic
to-go
garbage
kit.
bags.
You got your to-go kit ready.
I do. I have everything that anybody could need if
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
breaks or rips or whatever.
At the end of the day, that's like your big giant purse. You just got to always have it. It's got to be in your car at all times, right? Like what else
Yes.
could be in that purse? Well, we're almost at an hour. We are at an hour. And let me just tell you, I could do this once a week with you, just kind of have my coffee and
Oh,
just talk with you because it was a great moment when I met you. I'll never forget it. And you were really sweet. And I totally get your business and I want you to
thank
succeed
you.
and I want you to do well, and I want people to find you and respect you and know that, your heart and soul as an entrepreneur is in
Hmm.
your work. And so
Thank you.
it's not a side hustle for you, but you're
Oh
helping
no.
other people like me that do have side hustles. So
Hmm.
that's why we had you on today, because it is really important to hear from the vendor side about how to run, how to be
Hmm.
present in a market and how to bring your A game and how to become prepared because you are outside, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then how to be ready with your cash apps and your all those kind of things and how to price
Hmm.
things clearly and how to not like load up your booth so much that it's that whole are there 7 jellies or are there 21 jellies and which ones are
Right.
going to how many are going to sell more? Well, if you only have 7 jellies, you're going to sell more. That's what the kind of the rule
Hmm.
is. But it's hard when you have your babies at home and you want to bring them all. I want to bring all my jellies with
Yes.
me. And so everybody can choose. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you
Oh,
see all kinds of things. Like that's like for the next podcast that we do, and you and I will just sit there and go, okay, tell me the most amazing thing you've said. Start making a file, like because I know you've seen it all dealing with those folks.
yeah. I have some the good, bad, and ugly of vending at a market.
Actually, and tips and tricks. Like that could be like the
Yes.
whole thing of what we could talk to again. Okay, so now tell people again how to find you, which is your Instagram, your website, your however to reach out to you.
Okay.
Say it slow and we'll put a little thing underneath you so they can find you.
Awesome. So the name of my business is Here LLC.
So
Like you'll
spell
hear
that.
it.
Yeah. Say it like
Yeah,
that.
you'll hear it here first. So it's HEARHERE
I love that.
LLC.
I
And you
love
can
it.
find me at HereLLCNJ.com. You could find me at jen@herehere.com. There's a few different. You can email me at HEARHERELLCNJ@gmail.com. So it's always here LLC NJ in New Jersey. You could find me on Instagram. There will be links to all of my farmers markets and any other events that I'm contracting vendors for. So if anybody's going to be in the New Jersey area, come on over.
And that was Instagram at Here LLC in
NJ.
May, which is
It's
New Jersey.
Instagram, Facebook, Google, everything's all the same.
One thing, that's what I'm trying to move it
Yep.
over to too, Sugar Gay Isber. So it has been oh so good and too short
Thank
to have my coffee with you on this Tuesday morning. And I totally have enjoyed my visit with you and just kind of
you.
learning from you and thinking it all through. And I love that idea of throwing the tent back a little bit and having a little bit more light in there. That
Mhm.
definitely solved my problem. So if you're a jewelry maker out there, take some of her words to heart. She knows what she's talking about because she's a professional and we love learning from that. So thank you so much for your time. Send me a
My
pic so I can add
pleasure.
it to the podcast. It's just you right there. You look great. And we will do this again down the road. I'm sure you're busy right now. So get
Market season.
you got market tomorrow. So go make
Yes.
some things and I'll be thinking about you and I'll be sending you best wishes. So
Thank you so much. It was my
so
pleasure
good.
speaking with you today.
Seriously, I'm happy talking to you, friend. I could
I
talk
know it
all
makes
day.
my heart so
I
happy.
miss you. I miss you.
Oh,
It's good to
missed
see your
you.
face and your pretty hair. So I gotta
Oh,
work.
thank you.